Richard Loring was my great uncle and missing in action in 1944. Well, my mother told me that he was her favorite uncle, and I know that they did a lot of things together. She said he was just full of fun. I think it's very important to have his remains identified, and for us to be able to bring him back home to Carver and have him placed in the family plot with his sister and his mother's there. I just think it's very important to bring him home.
I got a letter from the Defense Department from a genealogist who was looking for any relatives of Captain Loring, who was a captain in the World War II. And they wanted any information on the family, and I immediately called our resident genealogist, Eileen Mackey, who helps me with all of these kinds of requests. And she has been working the past 4 years on trying to contact family members.
Oh, Amy gave me a letter that she received from a genealogist who was hired by the Department of the Army to find a donor to identify Richard's remains. So Amy knew that I knew the family and had done work on the family, so she gave the letter to me, and I wrote to this genealogist and sent her all the information that I had on the family. So after that, I waited a year to see if she found someone, and she didn't respond to my email, and so I started the search myself.
I had gone down to Carver, to the cemetery in Carver, on my mother's birthday, which was April 24th, to visit hers and my father's gravesite, actually. And my two brothers and my sister from Cape Cod met me there, and and we put flowers on the graves, and we reminisced, about the family and the times together, the good times together, and they had to go back to the Cape, and and then I went to the town hall to get some further information about the old homestead. And while I was there, the woman that ran the assessing department came out and was talking to me, and she had said, you're Dorothy Loring's granddaughter? And I said, yes. And she said, well, just a minute, there's somebody that's going to want to meet you. And she called Eileen Mackey, who had been actually doing my family's genealogy.
They met, and they have determined that this is a long-lost relative that they were both trying to find more information about, and I was just happy to be able to put the two of them together.
And one day, this lady came into the office who was looking for information on her family, and this turned out to be the donor. She was the granddaughter of Richard's sister. And so Ellen knew that I was doing the research, and she called me, and I was at home, and I came right over and I met Kathy.
And told her that I was there, and Eileen Mackey came running right over there, to meet me and to talk with me. And when we walked into the library, she said to the librarian, "I've got a live one." That day, Eileen had told me that they had contacted her, and asked if she knew of any relatives that would be willing to give, any female relatives that would be willing to give DNA to help identify, his remains. And she asked me if I would be willing to do that, and I said most definitely.
I just feel like everything has been falling into place, and it's just meant to be that Richard's remains be identified and that he be given the honor that he needs.